There is a quiet kind of power that rarely makes headlines. It doesn't announce itself with fireworks or arrive in a single, dramatic moment. It doesn't always look impressive from the outside, and it often goes unnoticed even by the person practicing it. Yet this power shapes lives, builds legacies, and transforms ordinary people into extraordinary forces of change. That power is the decision to show up every day, not just on the days when motivation is high. Not only when the path is clear or the reward is guaranteed, but on the hard days, the dull days, the lonely days, the days when progress feels invisible and effort feels wasted, the days when quitting would be easier, faster, and far more comfortable. Showing up every day is not glamorous, it is not loud, it is not always celebrated, but it is the foundation beneath every meaningful achievement, every deep relationship, every lasting skill, and every life lived with intention. Many of us grow up believing in the myth of the big moment, the idea that one day something will click, inspiration will strike, confidence will arrive fully formed, opportunity will knock loudly and unmistakably. And when that moment comes, everything will change. But real life rarely works that way. Lives are not transformed in a single leap. They are shaped through thousands of small, often unremarkable steps taken consistently over time. What looks like overnight success is usually the result of years of quiet persistence. What appears to be natural talent is often disciplined practice in disguise. The truth is this: the big moment is built by showing up to countless small ones. The conversation that strengthens a relationship, the practice session that sharpens a skill, the page written, the workout completed, the apology offered, the boundary respected. These moments don't trend. They don't go viral, but they compound, and compounding effort is one of the most powerful forces in the human experience. Anyone can show up when they feel inspired. Anyone can give their best when energy is high and circumstances are favorable. But the true measure of commitment is what you do when you don't feel like it, when motivation is gone, when self-doubt is loud, when fatigue settles deep into your bones, when no one is watching, when no one is applauding. Those moments test not your talent, but your character. Showing up on those days doesn't mean performing perfectly. It doesn't mean being fearless or confident or even optimistic. Sometimes showing up simply means staying. It means not walking away. It means doing the minimum required to keep the door open for tomorrow. There will be days when all you can give is 10%. On those days, giving 10% is giving 100% of what you have. And that counts. Progress does not demand perfection. It demands presence. Showing up every day requires courage because it requires vulnerability. To show up is to risk failure, to risk judgment, to risk being seen before you are ready, to risk being imperfect in public. Many people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they never allow themselves to be seen trying. They wait to be confident before they act. They wait to be certain before they begin. They wait to be perfect before they participate. But confidence is not the prerequisite for action. It is the result of it. Every time you show up despite uncertainty, you build evidence that you can handle discomfort. Every time you keep going despite fear, you teach yourself that fear is not a stop sign. It is simply a signal that something matters. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to show up anyway. Discipline is often misunderstood. It is seen as restrictive, rigid, and joyless. But in reality, discipline is one of the greatest sources of freedom available to us. When you show up every day, you reduce the mental energy spent negotiating with yourself. You remove the daily debate about whether or not you'll try. You replace chaos with structure and hesitation with habit. Habits are powerful because they carry you forward even when motivation fades. They allow progress to continue without constant emotional effort. Showing up every day turns effort into identity. You stop asking, "Should I do this?" and start saying, This is just what I do. And from that identity comes freedom. Freedom from inconsistency, freedom from regret, freedom from the weight of unfinished intentions. One of the hardest parts of showing up every day is that progress is often invisible in the moment. Growth happens quietly, skills improve gradually, healing occurs in layers, trust rebuilds slowly, strength accumulates in silence. There may be long stretches where it feels like nothing is changing, where effort doesn't seem to match results, where the gap between where you are and where you want to be feels painfully wide, but beneath the surface, something is happening. Every day you show up, you are laying bricks, one by one, even when you can't yet see the wall. And one day, often without warning, you look back and realize that the foundation is strong. The structure is standing. The progress is undeniable. That is the power of consistency. It works even when you don't feel it working. Showing up every day is not only about personal growth. It is also about the impact you have on others. Your presence matters more than you realize. To a child who needs stability, to a friend who needs listening more than advice, to a colleague who draws strength from reliability, to a community that depends on participation, not perfection. You don't have to have all the answers to be valuable. You don't have to fix everything to be meaningful. Often, the most powerful thing you can offer is consistency, being there, following through, keeping your word. Trust is built not through grand gestures, but through repeated presence. Ironically, the days that matter most are often the ones that feel the least important. The ordinary days, the routine days, the days that blur together, because those are the days that shape who you become. Anyone can rise to the occasion once, but who you are repeatedly becomes who you are permanently. Showing up every day is a vote for the person you want to be. Each action, no matter how small, casts that vote, and over time the votes add up. You don't wake up one day with a strong character. You build it through repeated choices to act with integrity. You don't suddenly trust yourself. You earn that trust by keeping promises to yourself. You don't magically become resilient. You become resilient by surviving difficult days and showing up again the next morning. There will be seasons when showing up feels nearly impossible. Seasons of grief, seasons of illness, seasons of loss, burnout, or overwhelming change. In those seasons, showing up may look different. It may mean resting instead of pushing. It may mean asking for help. It may mean redefining success for a while. Showing up does not always mean doing more. Sometimes it means honoring your limits and staying connected to what matters in a gentler way. Consistency is not rigidity. It is commitment with compassion. Life is not a sprint. It is not even a single marathon. It is a series of seasons, each requiring patience, endurance, and adaptability. Those who last are not always the fastest or the most gifted. They are the ones who stay. They stay when it's boring. They stay when it's hard. They stay when progress is slow. They understand that momentum is built not by intensity alone, but by longevity. Showing up every day keeps you in the game long enough for growth to happen. One of the most powerful outcomes of showing up every day is the relationship you build with yourself. Every time you keep going when it's difficult, you send yourself a message: I can be trusted. That trust becomes a source of confidence that doesn't depend on external validation. It is quiet, steady, and deeply rooted. You stop needing constant reassurance because you have evidence. You've shown up before. You've survived hard days. You've kept going, and you can do it again. The power of showing up every day is available to everyone. It does not require special talent, perfect circumstances, or extraordinary resources. It requires a decision to begin, a decision to return, a decision to try again tomorrow. You don't need to know exactly where the path leads. You just need to take the next step. Show up tired. Show up uncertain, show up imperfect, but show up, because every day you do, you are building something greater than a single outcome. You are building a life defined not by flashes of effort, but by steady commitment. And over time, that commitment becomes your strength. That is the power of showing up every day,